White Belt, Chapter 2. While Lean Six Sigma methods continue to spread to every country in the world, these methods that originated in manufacturing are successfully being adapted well beyond manufacturing to logistics and distribution, services, retail, healthcare, construction, maintenance, and even governments. We will take a quick look at how Lean Six Sigma applies to service and transactional sectors as well as to manufacturing. So let's clarify what we mean by these different sectors. In manufacturing, parts or components or ingredients are transformed into a finished product. The process for this transformation will include some combination of manual labor, machines, tools, and different types of processing, such as chemical or biological processing. The service industry is different from manufacturing in that it produces something intangible, a service, knowledge, data, support, information. The service sector includes industries such as hospitality, travel, transportation, entertainment, and healthcare. And the third sector that we are distinguishing is transactional. These are businesses that transform information or data. They create transactions. Transactional industries include businesses in finance, insurance, banking, order processing, etc. Business and industry can be described or categorized in various ways. Here we are making a distinction to help illustrate how the concepts of Lean Six Sigma are valuable and applicable for improving any process. Now let's take a moment to reflect on your own organization and function on page 9 of your workbook. We've just covered a few types of industries. In your workbook, place a check mark in the industry that best describes your organization. We haven't covered all sectors, so feel free to write in your own. For example, your organization may be in agriculture, construction, education, which don't exactly fit into the categories that we've covered. Just do your best to classify your organization. Then take a moment to think about your function within that organization. What department are you in? For example, you may be in customer service or finance for a manufacturing organization. It's an important distinction that we look at ways that Lean Six Sigma methods and tools apply to your specific situation. Many people have the misconception that Lean Six Sigma is only for manufacturing or operations. This exercise is the beginning of your understanding that the methods used for improving apply to all processes, even yours.
As we talk through this basic process of business improvement, fill in the diagram and take notes along with us on page 10 of your workbook. Because Lean and Six Sigma originated in manufacturing, many people have the impression that it only applies to manufacturing, but this is just not the case. The principles of continuous improvement in the tools and methods apply across all industries because they're based on understanding and improving a process, any process. No matter the business or industry, from a high level, we start by identifying the customers of our process, whether internal to the organization or external, paying customers. Once we've identified the customers, we can begin to understand what's important to them. How do they define value? We explore our process in detail to explore how to remove waste and to better respond to the needs of our customers. And when we've removed waste and improved our quality, we continue to strive for perfection and start the cycle again in the same area or in another area of the organization. It doesn't matter if we're making windshields, admitting a patient to an emergency room, or making a deposit in a bank account. The method and structure used to make the process better is the same. The difference is that we'll focus on different aspects of the process and maybe use different specific analysis tools and methods, depending on the problem that we're working to solve. On the bottom of your workbook, page 10, are a few questions for you to consider. Answering these questions as best as you can will make the next concepts much easier to grasp, so take your time. Pause the course whenever you need a little extra time. The first question in box 1 asks which process or function that you work in. This might be a department or a specific role within a department. For example, IT or sales or packing or customer service. Next, in the second box, we're asking you to think about the output of that process. The output is a description of your end product or result. For example, if you're in customer service, the output might be a resolved call. Or if you're in packing, your output might be a packed box ready to ship. If you work in IT, Your output might be a new software release. What's the end result of the process that you work in? Box 3 is asking you to think about who receives that end result or output when you've completed your work or the work of your department. You might name another function within your company, or maybe an individual, or it might be the actual paying customer who directly receives your output. There may be multiple recipients, but it's important to at least identify the main recipient or customer of your process. Box 4 now asks you to think about your process customers and their needs or requirements. Let's do an example of this whole thing. Let's say that the company is in manufacturing and they make containers. The specific person we are talking to in this example is in technical support in the IT department. That's box 1. The main output of their work or process is a resolved issue. That's box 2. The person who receives that output, the customer of this process, is anyone internally who has a technical issue or question. That's box 3. Now in box 4, we're seeing if we can identify needs or complaints of the customer. In this box, we might expect to see something like fast resolution, or issue fixed the first time, or courteous service, etc. So let's see what you can identify for your own box 4.
In all improvement projects, we focus on a specific measurable outcome. While there will be some overlap and consistent themes in all industries, we can expect to see a different focus for each. For example, in a manufacturing business, an improvement effort might focus on first pass yield, the number of products that come out of a production line perfect the first time with no fixing mid-process or rework, or safety, reducing the number of incidents or near misses or increasing safety compliance practices, or an increase in the quantity of items produced with the same amount of effort. These are different outcomes than we might focus on in the service sector, which would likely include projects that focus on customer satisfaction scores, or consistency of service, or speed and efficiency in the process. Business that provides a direct support to customers need to focus on predictability. For example, checking into a hotel could take 3 minutes or sometimes 30 minutes, depending on a lot of factors. This unpredictability is not good from a customer perspective. In a transactional business, the focus will likely be on the accuracy of the information or data that is used, or the logic to complete the transaction, or the speed of a transaction. Most transactional services rely heavily on software and apps, which mean that they'll likely focus on technical defects and extra features. Customers define what it means to be easy to use, which is critical for most customers in a transactional business.